What happens when a company's co-founder goes undercover as a janitor to uncover corruption? This story will shock you. Teresa Jones, the co-founder of Oakwood Heights Hotel, had always focused on growing the business, trusting her management team to handle daily operations. But when she started hearing whispers of mistreatment, fraud, and even harassment, she knew something was wrong. Determined to uncover the truth, she disguised herself as a janitor and stepped into the shadows of her own company. What she discovered was worse than she imagined: corrupt managers stealing funds, abusing employees, and using their power for personal gain. But Teresa didn't just watch. She gathered evidence and prepared for the ultimate showdown. How did she bring justice to those who had suffered in silence? Stay tuned to find out. If you love gripping stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Now, let's dive into the full story. Teresa Jones was no ordinary businesswoman. She was the co-founder of Oakwood Heights Hotel, one of New York's most prestigious luxury destinations. Alongside her business partner, she had built the hotel from the ground up, focusing on investments, expansion, and the bigger picture of growing the brand. However, Teresa had always trusted her management team to handle the daily operations, rarely stepping into the inner workings of the hotel. She believed that her employees were treated well and that her company upheld the highest standards. But then, the whispers started. Rumors of mistreatment, mismanagement, and even misconduct reached her ears. Employees were allegedly being bullied, underpaid, and ignored by higher-ups. Worse, there were hints of corruption: funds disappearing, fraudulent expenses, and managers abusing their power. Yet, no one spoke up openly, and every report she received was vague or quickly dismissed. Teresa knew that something was wrong, but she couldn't rely on secondhand accounts alone. If she wanted to know the truth, she had to see it for herself. That's when Teresa made a bold decision. She would go undercover. She shed her polished appearance, pulled her hair under a cap, dressed in a faded janitor's uniform, and walked into Oakwood Heights as Linda Parker, just another worker cleaning up after everyone else. No one recognized her, and that's exactly what she wanted. She entered through the back entrance, where she was greeted, not with warmth, but with indifference. David Willis, the head of maintenance, barely glanced at her as he handed her a mop and muttered, "Get to work." There was no introduction, no welcome, just cold efficiency. As Teresa walked through the hallways of her own hotel, she quickly saw what had been hidden from her all these years. Janitors and other low-level staff were invisible. Managers walked past them without a glance, barking orders as if they weren't real people. Employees kept their heads down, their expressions strained, and conversations died the moment a higher-up entered the room. It wasn't just bad management. It was an environment of fear. Within hours, Teresa realized that the whispers she had heard were only the beginning. Something was deeply wrong at Oakwood Heights, and she was determined to uncover just how deep the corruption ran. As the days passed, Teresa blended into her new role, quietly observing and earning the trust of her fellow workers. She befriended Anita, a young janitor who had been at the hotel for over a year. One night, as they mopped the lobby floor, Anita lowered her voice and confided in Teresa. "They think they can treat us however they want because we're just the help," she whispered. She described how workers were bullied, threatened with losing their jobs, and forced to endure harsh treatment without complaint. Teresa listened, her anger growing with each story. These weren't just isolated incidents. There was a culture of fear running through her hotel. Then Teresa uncovered something even more disturbing. One evening, while cleaning a stairwell near the manager's office, she overheard Richard Stone, the operations manager, and David Willis, the head of maintenance, laughing about extra expenses they had marked down as hotel improvements. In reality, They were pocketing the money for themselves. They spoke so casually, as if stealing from the company was routine. Teresa clenched her fists. These were the people she had entrusted with her business. And then there was Lydia Crane, the front desk manager, a woman who valued appearances but had no regard for the staff beneath her. Teresa saw firsthand how Lydia treated employees: cold, dismissive, and ruthless. One afternoon, she overheard Lydia scoff, "I don't care if they're tired. They're paid to work, and that's exactly what they'll do." When Richard chuckled and added, "Besides, we don't pay them enough to care," it became clear. These managers didn't just abuse their power, they thrived on it. Teresa had seen enough. But she wasn't done yet. She needed proof before she could take them down. One night, as Teresa was finishing up her shift, a young janitor named Rachel, barely 19, approached her nervously. She twisted the handle of her mop, hesitating before speaking. "I need this job to help my mom," she whispered. "But some of the managers, they make it hard." Teresa leaned in, sensing the girl's fear. Rachel took a shaky breath and continued. Richard Stone had been cornering her, making inappropriate comments and pressuring her to stay late under the guise of helping with paperwork. She knew it wasn't right, but she was terrified of losing her job if she refused. Teresa's stomach turned. This wasn't just corruption. It was abuse of power in its worst form. And Richard wasn't the only one taking advantage of the system. In the days that followed, more employees came forward, sharing their own experiences. A janitor named Paul revealed that Lydia Crane had been stealing hotel supplies and selling them online. Another worker exposed David Willis's scheme of inflating repair costs and keeping the extra money. It was a web of deceit, greed, and exploitation, all hidden beneath the hotel's polished exterior. Determined to put an end to it, Teresa began gathering hard evidence. She borrowed a small voice recorder, discreetly capturing conversations that confirmed everything: the stolen funds, the mistreatment, the harassment. Each recording was another nail in the coffin. The truth was finally in her hands, and soon, so would justice. On Monday morning, Teresa Jones walked into Oakwood Heights, not as Linda the janitor, but as the co-founder and owner of the hotel. Gone was the faded uniform and worn-out cap. Now, she wore a sharp suit and carried herself with the confidence of a leader who had seen the truth. News of her arrival spread fast, and soon, the management team gathered in the conference room, unaware of what was about to unfold. Richard, Lydia, and David sat nervously, shifting in their seats as Teresa stepped inside, her gaze cold and unwavering. "Good morning," she said, her voice calm but sharp. "I'd like to share a few updates on our management practices here at Oakwood Heights." Richard forced a chuckle, trying to mask his unease. "Of course, Miss Jones. We're always happy to get feedback." But Teresa wasn't here for small talk. She reached into her bag, pulled out a small recorder, and pressed play. The room filled with their own voices. Richard laughing about stolen money, Lydia mocking her employees, David inflating repair costs for personal gain. And then came the most damning of all, Richard's unsettling words to Rachel, his thinly veiled threats disguised as opportunities. Silence fell over the room. The color drained from Richard's face, Lydia's hands trembled, and David's jaw clenched. They had no excuses, no way out. Teresa let the weight of their crimes settle before speaking. "Your actions have crossed every line. You have stolen, abused your power, and mistreated the very people who keep this hotel running. Effective immediately, you're all fired." Richard shot up, his face red with anger. "You can't do that. You need us." But Teresa didn't flinch. "I need leaders with integrity. You were never what this company needed." On her cue, security arrived, escorting. With the corrupt managers gone, Teresa wasted no time rebuilding Oakwood Heights from the ground up, not just as a luxury hotel, but as a workplace where employees were valued and respected. She brought in new leadership, managers who understood that success wasn't just about profits, but about the people who made it all possible. No longer would janitors, front desk clerks, and interns be treated as invisible. Every employee now had a voice. One of Teresa's first changes was to increase wages for the workers who had been underpaid for far too long. She created a system for employees to report mistreatment without fear of retaliation, ensuring that no one would ever have to suffer in silence again. Monthly meetings were set up where staff could speak openly about their concerns, and instead of being ignored, they were heard and respected. The hotel was no longer built on fear, it was built on integrity. As weeks passed, the energy at Oakwood Heights shifted. Employees walked with confidence, knowing their hard work was appreciated. Guests noticed the difference too. A hotel where the staff was genuinely happy created a place where everyone felt welcome. Teresa had reclaimed her business, but more importantly, she had restored its soul. True leadership isn't about power, it's about responsibility. Teresa could have ignored the whispers, but instead, she chose to listen, to take action, and to demand change. Because real success isn't measured by money or status. It's measured by the way we treat others. And with that, Oakwood Heights had transformed, not just into a luxury hotel, but into a place where dignity, respect, and fairness would always come first. What would you do if you were in Teresa's shoes? Would you go undercover to uncover the truth? Or would you handle things differently? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends, because stories like this deserve to be heard. And if you want more fascinating tales of justice, leadership, and unexpected twists, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.